Welcome back, everyone, to our NASCAR Heat 2 coverage here at Knee Pit Gaming. So I wanted to make a quick video to address the issue of difficulty. How difficult is the game? How difficult do you want the game to be? And there's two different ways to view the screen where the difficulty option is. And the first is if you go into a quick race, it's going to ask you which series, choose your car. And then at the bottom of the screen, you notice it has the quick race settings, which are accessed by pressing the Y button. So if we do that, we see the quick race settings there, one of which is the difficulty. So if we back out of there, the other way to reach that very same screen is under options and game settings. So if we choose that, we get back to the very same screen. Now, make a quick note that this is quick race settings. This does not affect your career mode settings. That is different. So that's something to keep in mind before you get into career mode or a quick race. There are different settings for each. So let's start by taking a look at the AI difficulty that is available. And we'll start with stability help. Okay, this is an on or off function. I leave it off. But if you want more of an arcade feel, then by all means turn that on. Okay, so the stability help being off would make the difficulty be increased. So now if we take a look at the top option, which is AI difficulty, we have auto and then two variants of that, auto and then easy, or auto and then hard. And then the final option that we have is custom. And when we're in custom, it goes from 105 all the way down to 85. Okay, so it gives you some flexibility to race against the AI at a certain speed level. Now, what I have found is that 105 is the maximum difficulty or the maximum rating that you can get at a particular track. Okay, if we come back out, let's go ahead and discard those for now. If we come back out and we go to, if you're not familiar with what the ratings are, when you're selecting your track, you notice at the top left-hand corner, you have a speed rating. And for me, it is 105 at Atlanta, which means that if I leave this on auto, it's going to try to approximate 105 roughly. If I change this to auto easy, then it's going to make it easier than what my speed rating is for that particular track. And then the hard version of automatic will make it harder than the 105. Now, how does this compare to the custom difficulty at 105? Well, what I have found is, now in NASCAR Heat Evolution, last year's game, you had an option for a auto +2. Well, the auto +2 function seems to be now what is auto hard. So keep that in mind. If you want the most difficult AI, they're not going to come at a custom setting of 105. It's actually going to be automatic and hard. Now, that comes with a caveat. And the caveat is automatic goes off of your speed rating for a particular track. So if this is your first race at a particular track, you don't want to use auto hard because it doesn't know how fast you are at this track, so the AI are going to be much slower. So what I generally do is I will leave this on custom 105. Again, if you want the hardest difficulty that you can get from the game, I will leave this. I will start out on my first race at a particular track with custom and then 105 as the level. And then once I've raced a few races at that track, maybe after just one, if you've been fortunate enough to get the 105 speed rating, which you can see in the top left-hand corner, then that's when you would want to come back in, put this on auto hard, and it should approximate what we had last year at the auto +2 level and make things more difficult. Now, I did a little bit of testing. Now, I'm sure this is going to be different from track to track, and it is a little bit different from series to series. But here are some results that I obtained. At Atlanta, using the trucks at a level of the custom 105. So if we do custom 105 there, then I was able to run a very short race and win by 13 seconds. Okay, so that turned out very nicely for me. But what happens if I switch that over to auto hard? the auto hard setting, I was able to win the same race by only 3 seconds. So you can see the AI was a good bit better. Okay, let's change that up a little bit. And what happens if I'm using the cup cars instead of the trucks? Well, I did a race using the custom 105 that we see right here on the screen, and was able to win the race by 9.9 seconds. Again, in a very short race. I forget what it was. It's like 12 or 13 laps, something along those lines. So I won by 9.9 seconds on the custom 105. When I swapped it over to the auto hard setting, I won by 4.2 seconds, so half as much. So you can see there's some variance there, but the conclusion seems to be clear that the auto hard is the hardest difficulty setting in the game. But remember that that setting is going to be based off of, anytime you use an auto setting, it's going to be based off of your speed rating for a track. So you don't want to use that probably the first time you go to a track. You'd want to manually select the difficulty. In my case, I leave it at 105 and then go back to the automatic hard setting once you have a speed rating set for that track, if you want to make it even more difficult. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully that helps explain some of the difficulty options you have in the game. And stay tuned for more NASCAR Heat 2 coverage here at Knee Pit Gaming.